Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Akwa Ibom, ayayao, sinena barasone ki songe mananye. Akwa Ibom ojit, ayayao, ayayao.
You are welcome to Akwa Ibom State, the land of uncommon transformation. Come and join us, live amongst us, and invest, and you will not regret. I welcome you.
The developmental strides of the Governor Godswill Akpabio administration in Akwa Ibom State, particularly in his unparalleled human capital development through his free and compulsory education program, recently attracted continental attention as he bagged the 2012 Lifetime African Achievement Prize in Sustainable Development in faraway Kenya. The award, which was bestowed on the governor by the Nairobi-based Millennium Excellence Foundation, was presented to the governor by the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. Kolonzo Musyoka, at a ceremony which was held at the prestigious Jomo Kenyatta International Conference Center in Nairobi. The ceremony, which had all the trappings of royalty and honor, was watched by eminent African citizens, including former Vice President of Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Rupia Vanda, foreign nationals, members of the diplomatic corps, captains of industries, among others. Before the presentation of the award, Governor Akpabio, like other laureates, was put in a soapbox, where he spoke of the driving force propelling the uncommon transformation in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria.
Anger. I was very angry with the state of affairs I found in my state when I was elected governor. One needs to be angry with the situation of Africa, with so much natural resources, enormous potentials, but we have suffered from poor leadership. At the end, the people suffered. So I was very angry in 2007, and I can tell you, maybe with this award tonight, the anger is now waning. The anger is waning. I come from a place described as Ukana. My village is sedentary, by the side of what they call Federal Road in my country. For 29 years, we could not access my village. There was no road. And this in 2007, I assumed duties as governor with anger to prove to Africa, to prove to Nigeria, and to prove to my people that yes, indeed, government can work. Government can work. Government can work. I can tell you today, as I sit in front of you, that road, the first one I mentioned, which I could not access in 29 years, has a dualized thoroughfare with street light, over 39 kilometers. That's the first one. And I've done that with over 300 others. And of course, a lot of women were dying. Mortality. Sometimes people had no money to go to hospitals, and then you see obstructive labor. They will carry an African woman to a church, and they will keep praying, and they will say, mention, if I confess your sins, you have committed adultery. That's why the child is not coming out. And the woman will bleed to death. I needed to be angry. I went on campaign in one of my states, and I found we gave wheelchairs to disabled. And a woman came up to me and said, Your Excellency, I was given 4 wheelchairs, and my children are going to 5. I said, how many cripples do you have? She said 5. How many children? 6. And then the woman did not know that poliomyelitis is an avoidable disease. She wanted just one more, so she could have peace. I was angry. And I wept. I said, if I ever become a governor, no child in my state will suffer from polio. And I can announce to this crowd tonight that 4 years after, 5, 6 years after, I can tell you the last 4 years, no child has suffered from that disability in my state. I did not only build brand new general hospitals, completed over 5. I have a specialist hospital ongoing. I declared free medical treatment for children up to the age of 5 to ensure total vaccination and immunization of children. And I declared free medical treatment for all pregnant women. We have reduced to the barest minimum the incidences of maternal fatality. And so the anger is waning. What drove me was anger. And every African needs to be angry with the situation we have found ourselves. So here is Africa. Here is Africa. Many years ago, a lot of people settled at the Nile Valley. People from different tribes with different languages. And from there, the first civilization in the world was born. And that was the Egyptian civilization. We exported civilization to other parts of the world. The entire global community today is enjoying the civilization that started from Africa. Where is Africa today? Poor leadership. We as leaders must come together and bring good governance to our people and bring back civilization to Africa. That's why I was angry. So that anger is very now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I believe he deserves another round of applause for that.
Organizers of the award said the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Sir Godswill Akpabio, CON, and other recipients were selected based on independent research and verifiable indices by adjudicators. Executive Director of the Foundation, Dr. Kofi Nyantaki, explained that the Foundation bestowed the awards on the laureates, as the recipients are referred to, having been satisfied with their exemplary successes in their various areas of public engagements. Dr. Nyantaki added that the laureates have thus exemplified and personified the unyielding spirit of the African person.
Whosoever merits praises deserves to and should be praised. Outstanding feats and achievements do not just happen, but by perseverance and through ingenuity and tenacity of purpose. In welcoming the laureate recipients to the splendid and vibrant city of Nairobi, the capital of beautiful and exciting Kenya, one ought to be charmed by the impact these exceptional individuals have made as they have accomplished exemplary successes in their areas of public engagement. These laureate recipients have exemplified and also personified the unyielding spirit of the peoples of Africa.
The Vice President of Kenya, Dr. Kolonzo Musyoka, paid glowing tributes to Governor Akpabio and other awardees for distinguishing themselves and commended the leading role of Nigeria in the West African sub-region and the African continent in general.
Governor of Akwa State, we really congratulate you. Just seen what made you angry, and I really think you are talking on my behalf, because there's reason for all of us in Africa to be angry with cases of bad governance, corruption, which actually lead almost invariably to poverty of our people. The people of Nigeria, where you come from, are Africa's proudest lot. We think that these pillars of Africa, South Africa, Nigeria to the west, Kenya to the East African coast, and of course on behalf of the East African community and countries to the north, they are clearly defined pillars that can drive development for Africa.
Responding after being conferred with the prize, Sir Godswill Akpabio, CON-KJW, expressed appreciation to the foundation for finding him worthy of the award. He dedicated it to the good people of Akwa Ibom State, particularly the downtrodden and disadvantaged people who had no hope for the future. According to the State Chief Executive, such people have had their circumstances reversed as their children no longer pay school fees thanks to the free and compulsory education program of his administration, while the elderly persons as well as pregnant women and children under age 5 now enjoy free healthcare services. Akpabio speaks further on his Uncommon Transformation Program, which has brought about massive infrastructural development to all parts of the state.
It's a great thing for Nigeria. I did not lobby for it, so coming is a great surprise. And it shows that Africa is coming of age, that people could be searched out, and that people, intellectuals, could use binoculars and then look through the entire political spectrum and pick people who have met their marks in whatever field. So I dedicate the award to good governance and to the children of Akwa Ibom that gave me the opportunity.
Any message for other Nigerians?
Well, I just believe strongly that based on what I've seen so far in Nigeria, that more governors from Nigeria will be standing here receiving awards with you guys. And in the future, you won't tell me with me. There are a lot of strides that are being made by many states in the Federation. And of course, you can see what our president is doing with the transformation agenda. That I think if the transformation agenda of the president crystallizes, that Nigeria will become great in the eyes of other Africa. We will have regained our respectability. And I think that's the greatest thing that has happened here tonight, that Nigeria was respected.
Speaking further at a breakfast meeting chaired by former Zambian President, His Excellency Mr. Rupia Banda, Sir Akpabio blamed the woes of the African continent on weak leadership, corruption, poverty and hunger, adding that the latter had led to widespread insurgencies in most countries in the continent.
So where we have weak leadership in Africa, where we have selfish leadership in Africa, where we have corrupt leadership in Africa, then African countries will not move forward. Unfortunately, due to the way the colonial masters created Africa, there are a lot of barricades, there are a lot of barriers. It is time to put aside all divisive tendencies, ethnic divide, settler stories, indigenous stories, and begin to think as Africans. And we can do so by starting from individual countries. If you can develop that spirit of patriotism, and every citizen feels safe in any part of the country, I think that will be the beginning of the greatness of Africa.
What then is the way forward? Akpabio says the way out is for the continent to be able to feed itself. He therefore advocates the Brazilian agricultural model, which guarantees food sufficiency for her over 200 million people and more for exports. This will lead to a reduction in the rate of crimes in the continent.
For the future of Africa, I believe it lies in our being able to feed ourselves. Any nation that is incapable of feeding itself definitely cannot claim to be great. And so I would recommend the Brazilian model, where they've gone massively into agriculture. They are now exporting to other countries and even the excess is mopped from the society. And then they create what they call government restaurants. And then they make sure that the food is affordable. So what does that do? Two things. It creates employment for a lot of undergraduates who will be working in those restaurants. And secondly, it makes the hungry man on the street, affords him, it gives him access to food. So when the hungry person is able to eat, automatically the rate of criminality will reduce in the society. So that Brazilian model is what I think I can recommend for Africa.
The former Zambian president, Mr. Banda, was optimistic that the African continent could, in the near future, become a strong force to reckon with greater economic ties for the mutual benefits of member countries.
A great continent endowed with a lot of resources. God was very kind to us. He gave us everything. He hid it in the seas, in the mountains, and valleys. We've got everything that a continent can ask for. Most, if not all, our countries are success stories. Those of us who are as old as myself remember that 20 years ago, nobody paid any attention to Africa. But today, everybody knows that, as Governor Katumbi said yesterday, the future of the world has a lot to do with the future of Africa.
Wife of the late President of Ghana, John Atta Mills, Mrs. Ernestina Atta Mills, received a posthumous prize for her late husband. Speaking at the event, the executive chairman of MultiChoice DSTV Africa, Mr. Nolo Latele, advocated massive media content based on the inherent culture, tradition and language of the continent to other parts of the world, saying, "I strongly advocate for the massive expo of African culture, language and tradition to the outside world on our television stations. In other words, massive local content in our programming and broadcast."
The more we can show our cultures and our content in our own language and so on in Africa, I think we need to see ourselves on television. We need to take pride in ourselves to see how we are actually performing.
Other speakers at the event expressed confidence in the capability of African continent to assume pole position in the economic terrain, but also called for closer partnership among the member countries.
African countries must get together. I'm not saying create United States of Africa, but you must look at things continentally. If you take the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, you take of South Africa, your economy is less than that of Belgium. Small, tiny Belgium. So, if to survive, we must get together.
I'm from a neighboring state, Delta State. I've seen what he has done. It's not telling you a story, it's a reality. He has transformed the state. So, and when I listen to these stories, what comes to my mind is the famous music by John Lennon, Imagine. Imagine what will happen to the likes of Aliko Dangote working in a continent where we have operations in 14 African countries, and having the likes of these two gentlemen in 14 African countries. What will happen to the Dangote group?
What we need in Africa is visionary leaders, focused, consistent. So it's commitment and focus. I think that is what is missing in a greater part of the African continent.
I'm looking forward to an Africa in the future where men, women, and children, well, children because of age are different, but where men and women will be in the same group, but their efforts will be recognized.
A reception was held in honor of the laureate recipients by a Kenyan business mogul, Kamlej Patni, while the governor, in company of the Nigerian ambassador to Kenya, Akino Yetaro, was hosted by the Kenyan Vice President, Kolonzo Musyoka.
This time for Africa.
Guests at the event bared their minds.
I think it is a recognition of good governance, hard work, and success of a man who's committed to changing the lot of his community, his states, and his people. Basically in the area of infrastructure, education, health, agriculture.
The work of this great man has been recognized beyond Nigeria. And it's a great award where all the caliber of persons involved and the quality of achievements you could see.
You could see the arrays of laureates from the late president of Ghana, late Professor Atta Mills, to the former president of Zambia, Dr. Banda, and for His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa State, Sir Godswill Akpabio, to be honored today for African Lifetime Achievement Prize for Sustainable Development. What can we say but to say to God be the glory for great things He has done?
The recognition by the Millennium Foundation by way of singling out the governor and honoring him with the Africa Prize for leadership and good governance is something very unique. It means that the good works of the governor has hit the continental space, and Africans have come to acknowledge that something good is coming out of Akwa Ibom and by extension Nigeria. So we are very happy and excited that this is happening to us as a people.
The Lifetime African Achievement Award is one award that is across the borders, which means the team that came for evaluation, they're going through all the countries, and they found Akwa Ibom State as being one of the states that has been transformed, not just transformed, but with the speed of light.
The prize now puts Governor Akpabio as one of Africa's development laureates. As it's often said, a goldfish has no hiding place. So has the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Sir Godswill Akpabio, CON, continued to receive recognitions and honors for his good works. It goes to show that government can indeed work. For the record, the governor has received so many of them from reputable institutions and organizations, and even from the most critical of them all, the media. They include Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON 2011, Congressional Certificate of Recognition of the U.S. Congress 2011, Gold Humanitarian Award, the highest national honor of the Niger Republic, Exam Ethics Marshal 2009, Ghana, Honorary Doctorate from more than 15 reputable academic institutions and professional bodies, including the Doctor of Management Science from the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, Doctor of Law, Honoris Causa, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Doctor of Law, Honoris Causa, University of Calabar, Doctor of Law, Honoris Causa, University of Uyo, Sun Man of the Year 2011, Delhi Independence Man of the Year, among others. His unparalleled record of achievements is as follows: declaration of free and compulsory education for children in the state, both indigenous and non-indigenous, completion of Ibom International Airport, which he met at site clearing level, construction of over 290 roads, both state and federal, measuring more than 1,000 kilometers, complete with street lights, 4 flyover bridges and other bridges across the entire state, construction of a new state-of-the-art governor's lodge, construction of a new governor's office, construction of Nigeria's first digital library, construction of the first in Africa pipe-jacking underground drainage project, construction of world-class entertainment resort, the Ibom Tropicana Center, with an additional 250-room second 5-star hotel, completion of the 191 megawatts Ibom power plant, construction of a 30-seater Olympic-sized stadium, construction of the 20th anniversary specialist hospital, over 4,000 direct labor projects across the entire 31 local government areas, among others. As the protagonist himself puts it, all these can only happen in Akwa Ibom State under the leadership of Governor Godswill Akpabio, and he beckons to all, come and see.